We all remember it, that classic comforting bowl of beef and macaroni from our childhood. But let's be honest, the stuff from the can doesn't quite hold up to the memory. Today, we're taking that ultimate childhood comfort food and giving it the upgrade it deserves. Hi, welcome back to Cooking in a Flannel Shirt. Today we're going to make the ultimate beefaroni. We're going to get rid of that mushy powdered butter caca that you get from a can, and we're going to take it a step up. This is going to bring back some great memories of the childhood, but it's also going to be good enough for your kids to eat. So it's going to be a family favorite, and we're going to do it all in two pots. One to boil the macaroni, and the other one to go ahead and cook our beef, and that's the one we'll be finishing things in. If you don't have cast iron, make sure you have an oven-safe pan that you can put in there, because that's where we're going to do our finishing. Now, you can use regular elbow macaroni if you like. That's what we all are familiar with for beefaroni, but I'm using something a little different. If we can get a nice, really close shot, because this has got some beautiful texture to it, okay? This is called a Cavatappi, and it has some nice ridges on it, and you want that because that's going to hold onto the sauce. From there, we're going to have, of course, 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and we'll use the olive oil to go ahead and brown that. You may or not be able to see. Let me do this. We have our onions, our tomato paste, our garlic, and a 28-ounce can of crushed tomato. Back here, of course, my trusty salt and pepper. And if we can get a real nice close-up shot of our spices, there you're going to see some red pepper. This is optional if you want to have a little kick. You don't have to put that in there. Oregano, that goes with the recipe. Smoked paprika works best. If you just have regular paprika, that's okay too. And the Worcestershire sauce. I never know how to pronounce that. Oh, Lord. Beef broth. And this is the kicker. If you want, you can just use regular cheddar cheese, but I'm going to kick it up a notch. I'm using Gouda cheese, hand shredded. I'm also using extra sharp white cheddar from Vermont, and right back here we have some fresh grated Parmesan. Now, if you want to just use the regular stuff that you can buy already grated, that's fine, okay? Don't hold it against yourself. I just decided to go the extra step because the fresh grated melts better. And I also know that there's no added crap like cellulose or whatever in there. It's just the cheese, but that's just me. So we're going to get going. We're going to start by getting our beef prepared. We've already got the noodles done, as you can see, so that way you didn't have to watch us sitting here boiling noodles. Oh, how exciting. We might as well watch paint dry, right? All right, let's get started at the stove. As we prep our pan, we've got it up to temperature. We're going to go ahead and put a little oil in there, and then we're going to go ahead and add our ground beef. Let me spread this out just a little bit here. Look at that. Ooh. Ready, set, boom. I'm going to work this right now into a flat pile. I want to go ahead and get a nice, crispy brown crust on the other side of this ground beef before I go ahead and chop it up. All right, we should have a nice brown crust on the bottom of this beef. We've let it go ahead and cook for about a minute. So now I'm going to chop it up a little bit more so we can get it properly browned. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice brown crust there. Wait, we've got our meat browned just the way it is. Why do I always say brown like that? I don't know why. We're going to go ahead and drain it. We want to leave maybe a teaspoon or a tablespoon. Which is it, Jacqueline? A teaspoon, thank you. When you choose your beef, use an 80-20 beef. That'll give you just enough. You do want to have some fat. You don't want to have this too lean. I should have used these tongs earlier. That way my fingers wouldn't be so burnt. Now, I have made a mess, I'm sorry, on the stove, but I will be cleaning it up. Now, we're gonna scrape off whatever we have on the bottom that we can, and we're gonna add our onions first. So, let's add our onions. Ready? Oh yeah. Now, I say onions, it's actually one large yellow onion. If you have cast iron, trust me, it might be a little extra work for some people, but I find that the taste is well worth it. It just tastes completely different. It's got a robust taste rather than cooking on one of the non-stick pans. Even though I do have non-stick pans, I know that somebody's going to say that. I'm afraid to make my sauce today. We're going to put in some actual tomatoes. I got a bunch of crap about using the Prego the other day in the chicken Parmesan recipe. And if you want to go and check that out, we tried to make it kind of like The Godfather, although there were some variations, but man, I got a lot of comments. You shouldn't put sugar in Prego, yuck. It's real easy. You can make a better sauce cheaper. And a lot of these people, you know what? They were right. I was just going for, well, quick and easy. If you'll notice, the onions are translucent, so now's a good time to go ahead and add our garlic. We're just going to cook the garlic for about a minute, and then we're going to go ahead and add some tomato paste. So let's let the aroma of the garlic come out. I'll give it a good stir here. All right, next we're going to add our tomato paste. We're approximating 2 tablespoons. Now, the reason we want to cook this before we add any kind of a deglazing or any kind of a sauce is we want to get rid of that metallic taste. Okay, so you want to make sure that this gets cooked up real nice and brown. Again, I say brown. I gotta find a new way to say the word brown. But you definitely want to cook this up. You don't want it to stay red. That way it'll absorb a nice kind of flavor. We're going to be using beef broth today to deglaze our pan. If you want to get fancy and use wine, feel free. But today we're going to go just with the beef broth. I think we'll get a nice deglaze that way. We have everything nicely browned. It is time to deglaze the pan. Yeah. Work hard, scrape the bottom. Like I was told earlier tonight by somebody, scrape it like you mean it. But when you do that, be careful because the steam coming off of that pan can burn your hand. So make sure that you are either covered or you have a very long utensil. Make sure we've got all those crumbly bits, all that flavor off the bottom. Now we have it deglazed. Let's go ahead and add our crushed tomatoes. This is 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. I'm going to stir it up real well here. And then we're going to go ahead and add our spices also. Look at that nice sauce that makes already. And if I get any comments about the sauce not being perfect, well, anyhow, how would you do it? Tell me. Right now, it's got a very good rustic aroma to it. Let's go ahead and add some lean parents. They say about 1.5 tablespoons. I think that, yeah, that looks close. That's called measure by your heart. Just throw it in there. All right, all of our spices that we've talked about before, I've got them all mixed already. So we're just going to put them in there. I'm going to give it a complete stir so that all of the flavors are mixed together and blended as well as we can get them. And while we're doing that, we're going to lower the temperature of the oven, or rather of the stove, and we're going to let it go ahead and thicken up for just a few minutes. You can salt and pepper this to taste. I'm going to use our favorite. This is the pink Himalayan salt. All right, we want this to thicken up, so I'm going to let it cook uncovered. We'll give it about 10 to 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, our sauce has thickened up nicely. Look at that. It also has a very nice color to it. Now we're going to go ahead and add the pasta. You'll notice I removed this from the heat. That's what you want to do for this step. Remove it from the heat. And now we're going to go ahead and add the pasta. Now, I'm just going to make sure, since I never rinse my pasta unless I have to, unless the recipe specifically calls for it. This recipe doesn't call for rinsing your pasta at all. So I'm pulling it out and pulling it apart as I go. You know what? I'm wondering, will all of this fit or do I have too much? We'll find out in a minute here, won't we? Yeah, we can put it all in there. Yeah, look at that. Okay, I just have to be very careful with it and try not to spill it over. I'm going to stir it like a tossed salad, so that way we don't get too much on the floor. We already had one noodle escape. While we mix this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in half of our cheddar cheese and half of our gouda cheese. Look at that. About half. We're going to retain half because that's going to be the cover. And we're also going to add the Parmesan when we're done. So this gets mixed in there just a little bit. And while we're doing that, I'm going to turn the broiler on. Such a delicious coating of cheese. This takes beefaroni to a whole nother level. You can enjoy it with memories as a kid, but it's stepped up for the adult palate. Kids will also enjoy this too. So you'll never go back to that Chef Boyardee what? We're gonna put this in the broiler for about 3 to 5 minutes, keeping our eye on it so it doesn't get burnt. Thank God for the helper handle. I'm using Lodge cast iron, so a shout out to Lodge. They're made here in the USA, and no, I'm not getting paid for this. I just happen to like their product. So I believe they're made up in Tennessee. Anyhow, we're gonna watch this for 5 minutes. We're getting ready to pull it out, and then we're gonna eat. 5 minutes it's been, and we're taking it out. Remember to be very careful because this cast iron pan is going to be extremely hot. So safety is a must. I don't want any of our viewers to get burned. Look at that. Ooey gooey and super cheesy. We've got a ton of stuff coming out of there. You can also add some more Parmesan cheese on top if you like. I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste test. Let's see if we get the payoff we've been looking for. Oh, I can't wait to try this. Oh, I urge you to try this. If you do try it and you do like it, or if you just like the video, give us a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Thank you very much for watching. We can't do this without you. I'm going to go have dinner. Bye.